Hey, how's it going? I'm in a new but not new setup. Start us off, I moved my desk into my bedroom, which for the longest time I was against. I said my bedroom has to be only for sleeping, basically, or, I guess relaxing in bed if I didn't necessarily plan on sleeping. And I did want to do other stuff in here. However, with getting the cat recently, I've decided that to try to make this work, having, my space and her space be separated would be a good thing, especially as I've mentioned to just about everybody in my life. She can be very overbearing when I'm working at my desk, and I need her to not be, not be jumping all over me or scratching and attacking me, things like that. So I just decided it's easier instead of trying to lock her in my room and then, if I need to go into my room, let her out, whatnot. She gets reign of the rest of the apartment, bathroom, hallway, kitchen, living room, everything. I have everything I could need in here for when I'm doing the bare minimum of working, sleeping, things like that. And I'm hoping that that separation is going to make this a bit easier. If not, we'll see how things go. Maybe I'll need to renovate again. But for now, a lot of my activities and hobbies are going to take place in my room when I need them to. It was also because this last week was just insanely hot, and I could actually turn on the air conditioner in my room and have that get cool, and then kind of turn it on and off and not have to run it the whole time because it's very expensive. If I was in my living room, the living room connects to the rest of the house, so basically I had to have it constantly blowing on me. Otherwise, we're not going to reach a decent temperature. So, not looking forward to seeing what's this month, or maybe it's already going to be tacked into next month. But one of the next two energy bills are going to be not fun to look at because it's going to be a lot higher than I would want it to be. So that was a big thing. I'm only halfway done with that. Like again, it was really hot, so I moved my desk. I did a bunch of stuff, and I was dripping buckets of sweat. So I decided to call it for that night. And I haven't finished it since, but I just have to move a bookshelf, and then in my living room, I'm gonna move my board game slash dining table to where my old desk was, and then move the couch back in front of the TV. I'm kind of undoing some of the renovation I did a couple months ago, but also, because I have a bigger table, I had to make space for that all to fit. So that'd be nice to get that done and to have my place fully. I've got to get that done by Wednesday because I'm going to be leaving on a trip from Thursday to basically next Thursday. I leave Thursday morning at 5 a.m. and I get back the next week Thursday at 9 a.m. So I'll be gone for a full week. So I'll have to have that ready for my friend who's going to be over a couple times to take care of the cat. Anyways, this is a bit of a shorter, it's kind of like a normal length one, but it felt a bit shorter at only 9.5 minutes. Um, so let's get into this. This is I named this the week of moving, and which is funny. It had actually nothing to do with moving my desk or moving like locations or things around. I like to keep it to a single word. Week of blank, just one word, because that's going to be an important reoccurring thing at the end of the year, and it's just following the tradition so far. But this is the week of moving forward. It was originally going to be focus, but I think focus might be for a different time. As I think of what I'm going to be doing in the next couple of months, there's probably going to be a week where focus is a bigger topic. This is moving forward. So last week, I think it was last week, I went to a card show and I brought old Pokemon ETBs. If I've mentioned I may have mentioned this last week, I don't remember. Anyways, they're 10 years old, very hard to come by, a little bit dinged up, but the lowest market price right now is $2,000 for each of them. So I've got theoretically $4,000 of Pokemon ETBs, and I was trying to sell them because that's a lot of money. That's a bunch of payments on my car, you know, rent for a couple months, things like that. And I was having trouble, one, because I wanted to make sure I was getting, the right amount for them. I know that if I can find the right seller or collector or whatnot, I can get a proper value rather than getting, 30 or 40%, and just kind of like moving them because I'm not desperate right now. But, anyways, this is all about moving forward because these were ETBs purchased by my father, I think, because I know that I never did. And I found them in the storage locker when I was cleaning it out a couple years after he passed. About a year ago, I found them. And in talking to the one of the people who was offering me money, I was like, "That's a good amount of money." He was offering me some trade as well, so I could have gotten some things from his booth. But I had this sinking feeling of, this technically is something that he bought, that he, even if he just bought it and forgot about it, it's a connection to him. And while the memories might not be the best of that my life back then, and by no means was he anywhere near a perfect person. Anyways, um, it was hard to try and give up that connection to the past. And there's been a lot of things in my life where I'm connected to the past and nostalgia, and I really enjoy it because I think I grew up in a great time period, and I was really happy with everything that I kind of got to grow up with. However, I'm also realizing that sometimes you have to let the past go and move forward. So it was coming to terms with that and saying that, hey, if I want to have memories or good memories about anything, but even especially just to focus on this one situation of belongings, getting rid of the items doesn't get rid of the memories or the feelings, right? These are, it's materialistic. These are things that we create. These are things that people buy, right? It's all, people say it's capitalism. It's materialism. It's all these sorts of things, and that's true, right? The only things that you can reframe it to say that the things that matter are the memories, and as long as you can remember that and have the feelings, who cares, right? It doesn't matter if it was a birthday card or a gift that someone bought you, or you can't live life holding on to every single small sentimental item and trying to basically hoard. It's good to have some sentimental items here and there, and some things that maybe spur on those feelings or help strengthen them. But to be able to live in the moment and to live in the future for the future, I think it's important to be able to move on and to distance yourself from that. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm also trying to move on from being so materialistic. Didn't do too good today on that, as I went to a card store for a tournament, and as the tournament finished, I thought, well, I should buy something from here to show a bit of support, even though I already paid for the tournament as well. And I bought 2 cards, and it was only like $7. But my thought is, I didn't need to spend that. And if every time I went to spend $7, I didn't, I could save up a lot of money and get myself out of some of the debt that I have, or just like help payments here and there. Maybe get a little bit of extra savings. It won't be a ton. We're trying to be less materialistic. I don't need to buy skins in video games. I don't need to buy. I was thinking of buying custom card sleeves. $75 so that I could get free shipping and then all this to get 3 sets of them. I already have a ton of card sleeves. I don't need them. It's not going to bring me a ton of extra joy. So I'm trying to be more frugal, even with food. I don't need to go out for Culver's or McDonald's or something. I've got food at home. I can just eat that. I'll be just as happy. Sometimes more, because I eat out and then I feel disgusting because I ate too much and I spent money, and I know it's unhealthy, and there's a lot that goes into that. I also want to move forward from stressing over small things and kind of stressing in general, right? Things they're gonna happen, and you can react to them, and that's about it. You can choose how you move forward, but there's no reason to let your day and your mind, everything, get consumed by it. I heard that emotions only last, I think it was 90 seconds. If you can distract yourself and not, be fueling that emotion of anxiety or stress or anger, it will leave your body within like 2 minutes. And I'm trying to really focus on that, where if I'm worried about work or about, family or something, take a deep breath and let it go and move on. Do what I can, think about what I can, but not, not let it consume me, because that's what's going to make you sick, make you feel bad, cause mental health problems, and potentially end your life earlier. So this week was a lot of thinking about moving forward. That's kind of all I had. I'm going to be putting out a very short one because I'm going on a trip for this week on what I think this next week's going to look like. And I'll talk a bit about, the things coming up with that. But until then, thanks for listening, and I hope you have a great week.